Hey guys, this video is brought to you by viewers like you and people that support our website codingphase.com. Go check it out. Over 20 courses in there that's going to guide you to become a developer from the beginning to becoming a pro.
All right, guys. So I wanted to also talk about a new framework. All right,
Oh
new
God.
a new framework called Amber. Amber framework. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. No, I know sometimes people
Nope.
get
No,
scared.
I'm not heard of.
People be like, "Oh my God, there's a new framework. There's always a new framework every single week."
Got that right.
You
Is
know,
it
Yep.
Amber? Like
Never
Amber?
How you gonna
fails.
find
like yes, Amber. So we got Amber right here. So this is actually running with Crystal Lang. It's a pretty cool framework, to be honest
Oh,
with you. It's
I
very
thought you was talking about the one with the freaking like E instead of the A. I thought you was talking about
nah,
Ember.
not Ember, not Ember. This is Amber. So pretty much it got a whole bunch of contributors. It's pretty legit. It's made with Crystal Lang. Hold on, let me make sure people get muted. Okay. Um, yeah. So this is made with Crystal Lang, and it's a pretty cool framework because it's actually very similar to Ruby on Rails. If you any of you guys have ever used Ruby on Rails, pretty much what they did was they took a lot of ideas from Ruby on Rails. They took a lot of ideas from Phoenix. They took a lot of ideas from even stuff like Express that I feel like they got a couple of ideas from. And what they did was they just basically converted everything into Crystal Lang. If you haven't heard of Crystal Lang is pretty much like Ruby part two, right? Ruby plus extra powers. You know, it's a pretty legit programming language. It's all general purpose. You can do web development, you could do game development, you could do applications, CLI applications, whatever you might need. This framework is actually made with, I believe, it's the MVC model. All right, so it's basically it's running the MVC model. So if you ever use something like Laravel, Ruby on Rails, you're gonna be at home. You know, it's a pretty legit system. They got some testing. They show you how to do deployment. They got a couple of command line CLI tools. You know, they have Amber D, which is deploy. You got encrypt. You got generate, just like Ruby on Rails, where you could generate the models and generate the database. You could come here and generate, whatever you might need for that model. You have routes. You have watch. Watch is pretty cool because it's like NodeMon for Node.js, where once you do a change on the server side code, it refreshes the server. So instead of you having to stop the server and restart it again, it automatically does it for you. And I'm pretty sure if you guys have used my web developer bootcamp, you guys have seen watch, right? So yeah, man. Let me see. Hold on. We got we got Sonic and people's in the background. Got to mute you out, boy, real quick. Sorry about that. So yeah, man. So I wanted to know, what do you guys think about this new framework? If you're gonna, you know, talk about this, make sure you unmute your microphone and let us know. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's kind of interesting. Actually, oh, go ahead.
Nah, but you continue. You was talking first.
Okay. Oh, I think it's kind of interesting. I use was it Laravel and the PHP framework, so it kind of reminds me of that, especially with the whole generate functionality. I did a little bit of Ruby when I first started to learn how to code. At the time, it was a bit confusing, but I think this is it's pretty interesting from that standpoint, of generating and kind of using a framework. And I think frameworks are interesting because it takes out, especially the whole npm generate command line type feature that most of these frameworks have. It kind of takes out that work of just building, starting from scratch or building a component or a feature for it. You can just generate, let it run in the background, and you're off to work. So I think it's interesting. I would try it if I were to get into Crystal Lang. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah. How about you, Tyler?
I my 2 cents is um well, I'm not really into Crystal Lang, so I don't really see myself actually using this like framework. But if I was into it, I would probably check it out though. It looks pretty cool, judging from the GitHub. It looks pretty sick.
Yeah, I think look, this is a pretty cool framework. I think Crystal Lang is not gonna be for everybody. It's more for people. If you like, let's say for example, let's take it like this. If you need something that has a lot of good performance and is pretty fast and compiles quick, then I would say Crystal Lang is perfect. It's probably the closest thing to C, right? As far as like programming languages out there, right? Now, if you need something like concurrency, then also too Crystal Lang is gonna hold you down, right? Um, I don't think it's gonna be for every single person out there, but like let's say like this. I used to work in a digital agency where what they used to do was they used to create advertising for a whole bunch of different blogs, right? They used to have a section. It was pretty weird company. They had all type of stuff like that they used to promote, and it was like marketing slash digital agency slash advertising company. Like they had so many different things, right? Now, this company needed to build like their own system, the same way how Google Ads, Google AdWords, and Google AdSense have their advertising. Like when you go to every page and it follows you the advertising. You search something 2 weeks ago and then now they show it to you again with cookies. So they needed to build something like that, and they needed to serve up to I think like 300,000 websites, right? Um, when you have a system like that, you can't really do it in something like PHP. Like PHP is gonna be bottled up. It's like I can't handle 300,000 concurrency requests right now. Like PHP is gonna have a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? So situations like that, you might come up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna use something like Node.js," but Node.js, even at that, is not even the fastest one. So even for HTTP requests and going back and forth. So you might say, "Hey, I might use Golang." So yeah, you could go ahead and use Golang, but what if you say, I just love the syntax of Ruby, I love the syntax of Python, I love the syntax of Crystal Lang. So that's when you would choose something like Crystal Lang over Golang or over any other programming language for performance, speed, and the fact that the syntax is something that you're comfortable with. You know what I mean? So this isn't for everybody. This is more for a niche of people that need performance and need speed. And even at that, like let's say right now you come up with a social network, right? And you're gonna build a social network from scratch. Would I tell you, hey, build a social network in PHP if you know that social network is gonna grow to be, I don't know, a million concurrent users at a time on a chat room? Let's say you have something like chat roulette, right? I wouldn't tell you to create chat roulette with PHP because it just choke up. It'll be like, oh man, I can't deal with this. I'm about to blow up, right? But I will build it with something like Crystal Lang or Golang or even Node.js, right? But now it will be like preferences. If you are like a Ruby Python guy, you would choose Crystal Lang. If you are more of like a C type of guy, C++, a guy who is like, okay, I want something more low level and I want something that the syntax is not similar to anything else, then I would choose Golang. But if you are somebody who is like, oh man, I just want to do it with JavaScript, then Node.js is there for you. You get what I'm saying? So this whole framework is not for everybody, but the reason why I bring it up is to make sure that you guys are aware of all of these new technologies that are out there and what's the pros and what's the cons of them. You know what I mean?